Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 555 based on novel. So let's start. At night, when the world around the dragon tomb fell into darkness, a mighty dragon coalition, led by the Dragon King Xiao and others, quietly burst towards the dragon tomb. The purpose of this trip is very clear: to provoke the defenders left by the Silver Dragon King, secretly Xiao Yang into it, and rescue the Golden Dragon King. Boom. In the dim world, outside the originally peaceful dragon tomb, countless gunpowder smoke suddenly gushed out of the deadly air, causing the many powerhouses guarding the dragon tomb to look at each other, and the pressure increased for a while. My lord, I found that a 1,000-person team is rapidly approaching the dragon tomb, and it is aggressive. The leaders are the Xiao Dragon King and the Fire Dragon King. Suddenly, on a small hill outside the dragon tomb, the dragon warriors who were responsible for investigating the information kept talking. Sir, do you see? As the voice of the dragon warrior fell, the other people who had been quietly guarding here couldn't help but turn their attention to the leader. The supreme elder of the dragon clan was ordered by the Silver Dragon King and was the supreme commander of the coalition forces here. As for the next ones, they are followed by the 4 dragon kings who submit to the Silver Dragon King, the Dark Dragon King, the Earth Dragon King, the Storm Dragon King and the Star Dragon King. Dark Dragon King, Earth Dragon King, Storm Dragon King, Star Dragon King, now our lives are all tied to a boat. If this matter is completely exposed, with the powerful skills of the Golden Dragon King, then you should know the end better than me. As he spoke, the Supreme Elder's silent eyes glanced over the bodies of several people, sweeping away the last concerns in his heart. We know. I swear to guard the dragon's tomb to the death on this trip. Anyone who tries to intrude will be killed without mercy, even the 2 dragon kings. When the 4 dragon kings heard the words, they also nodded solemnly. Ever since they joined the Silver Dragon King faction, they knew that such a day would come sooner or later, but they did not expect it to be so fast. Once the Silver Dragon King succeeds, the situation of the Dragon Clan will drastically change. At that time, the opposition within the Dragon Clan will also be suppressed by the Silver Dragon King. Go ahead and meet them. Yes. As soon as the words fell, the atmosphere here became extremely tense, and an extremely hot force swept across the void of the dragon tomb. Boom. When the Elder Taishang and the 4 dragon kings appeared in front of the dragon tomb alliance together, the Xiao Dragon King and others were already ready to fight. Xiao Dragon King, Fire Dragon King, you wait for such a move, but you want to disobey the order of the Silver Dragon King? The Elder Taishang stood among the defenders of Tailong Tomb, and looked at the others' 1,000 troops with a calm expression, and his tone was full of contempt. The thousands of troops of the 2 dragon kings and the defenders behind him are not at the same level of combat power, let alone the existence of the 4 great dragon kings and his supreme elder on his side. The combat power of both sides is too high. Disparity. With the intelligence of the Xiao Dragon King, naturally he would not do such a thing that burns all the jade and stone. What is the reason for these guys to have such courage to attack the dragon tomb? It's all nonsense. The land of the dragon's tomb is the most forbidden place for the dragon clan. Only our 9 dragon kings are qualified to enter it. Isn't the sacredness here that you blood-mottled dragons can touch? If you know each other, get out of here quickly. The Dragon King of Xiao came forward directly and stood at the front of the team. The provocative fluctuations between the words became more and more intense. You are the Dragon King, which is the foundation of my dragon clan. With time, you will be able to cultivate to the peak of this world. Why should you die in vain? The current situation of the dragon clan is already beyond your control. This old man is unwilling to kill each other, so you should retreat quickly. In the face of the provocation of the 2 dragon kings, the Supreme Elder shook his head slightly, obviously also a general knowledgeable person. Now coincides with the catastrophe of the Great Thousand Worlds. If the Dragon Clan's civil strife loses too much combat power, even if the Dragon Clan completes the reunification, it will not regain its former glory. Humph, old miscellaneous hair, as Xiao said, all of this is your conspiracy. In an instant, the Fire Dragon King on the side looked at Elder Taishang and the others with such a pointed tone, and he was also angry and shouted directly. Where is there any conspiracy? What we do is also for the dragon family. After this is done, you will naturally understand the good intentions of my lord. The Elder Taishang continued. For the dragon clan? Just relying on such insidious means like you have the words to mention the dragon family? The status of the overlord of the dragon race will be destroyed in your hands sooner or later. For a time, Kaelin and Yunyun quietly walked out of the crowd and stood beside the two dragon kings together. Where is the little girl from, with sharp teeth and sharp mouth? Seeing the appearance of the two mistresses, there was a hint of surprise in the eyes of the Taishang elders. Obviously, there was a slight difference in the identities and strengths of the two. Stop talking nonsense, let's do it. Today we must enter the dragon tomb. The four looked at each other, and immediately spoke with the dragon king and others. Kill. In the face of such a menacing attack from the other party, the elder Taishang also gave an order, and the war is about to break out. Boom. When the two powerhouses were fighting together, a splendid streamer instantly rose from the army behind Xia Dragon King and others, and immediately rushed into the melee like lightning, swept towards the entrance of the dragon tomb. Go! Are you smart? In this regard, the elder Taishang seemed to have been prepared for a long time, and when his body moved, he chased away in an instant. Yunyun, you stay here to help the army deal with the four dragon kings, I'll stop him. Just finished speaking, the colorful halo around Kaelin's body is in full bloom, and the whole body is surging, and there is even a looming 9-colored light on it, which has the demeanor of a ruthless queen. The Supreme Elder must not be allowed to block Xiao Yang's path, let alone consume Xiao Yang's strength. After all, Xiao Yang now has a heavy responsibility. Saint Dragon Finger. A gloomy voice resounded through the sky, and immediately a yellow finger of light with a size of several tens of meters pierced through the void and blasted away at Xiao Yang. Crack. Even with Xiao Yang's excellent soul power and agility in his movements, it was a little difficult to flash such an attack. That light refers to the energy around him, still making the tyrant dragon scales on Xiao Yang's body emit a burnt smell. Although this guy's strength is also in the half-step 9-fold reincarnation rank, his combat power is comparable to that of the 100-legged evil emperor in the reincarnation sea. Where's the younger generation? As soon as the hit was in the air, there was a flash of surprise in the eyes of the elder Taishang. With his full strength, even if the opponent was a real half-step 9th-level reincarnation-level powerhouse, he could not easily deal with his blow. Why is this roaring light in front of him? Can the breath in the middle be dealt with so easily? Where is the other party sacred? Your opponent is me. When the Supreme Elder was chasing Xiao Yang away, Kaelin suddenly appeared beside the latter, and the 10-colored snake spirit continued to swallow the snake letter. Obviously, this person in front of him was a really troublesome being. 10-colored swallowing python? It's somewhat qualified to be my opponent. The elder Taishang sneered, but his eyes were still locked on the fast-moving light group. If at this critical juncture, the other party steps into the dragon tomb, once the Silver Dragon King fails, their ending will naturally fall into a state of doom. Today, they have no place to turn around, and they can only fight against the water, even if they are burdened with heavy infamy. As the war between the two sides started completely, the entire dragon tomb was also full of gunpowder and war. At the core, the Supreme Elder of the Silver Dragon King faction watched Cai Lin appear to block his way, but the strange group of light moved rapidly. Looking at its traces, it was clearly heading towards the dragon tomb. For a time, in this open area near the entrance of the dragon tomb, two majestic breaths of reincarnation slowly emerged, causing waves of energy fluctuations here. The elder Taishang's eyes have been locked on Kaelin. Due to the latter's rich experience, Kaelin and the weak killing aura on his body are not something that ordinary powerhouses can possess. After thinking for a while, his legs were slightly bent, and the samsara breath around his body surged, and it exploded in the void like a vortex. The violent force contained in it made the void sway slightly. Bang bang bang! The bright reincarnation breath exploded, and I saw a black shadow flickering in the empty field. When it reappeared, it reached Kaelin's side, slightly bent her calf, and kicked Kaelin's delicate body in the air. At the moment when his legs were kicked out, countless silver dragon scales suddenly appeared on the latter's legs. The silver dragon scales were filled with a very mysterious power fluctuation, and even behind the silver dragon scales, there seemed to be a very dim silver filament exists. The power of that filament makes the colorful snake spirit buzz instantly. 10-color swallowing power. Facing the latter's powerful attack, Kaelin's eyes wrinkled, and after taking a deep breath, an extremely gorgeous 8-colored halo suddenly slanted out of the body, and immediately condensed in his hand, striking the 8-colored light. The palm suddenly launched. As soon as the two attacks were released, they collided in an instant. At the moment of the collision, countless dazzling sparks fled everywhere, the entire space condensed slightly, and a palpitating energy shock wave spread out, shocking the hearts of both sides. This human woman can actually be evenly matched with the Supreme Elder. This guy's power is not quite right. Could it be that there is something strange in his body? Kaelin is also a person with vicious eyes, and after a single blow, he can see the strangeness in it. The attack failed, but there was a hint of puzzlement in Kaelin's eyes. The attack just now seemed to be an understatement, but it contained majestic destructive power and the deadly venom of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python. This level of attack, it was enough to make the Supreme Elder's leg temporarily lose consciousness, but why is he uninjured now? Looking at the silver dragon scales on the latter's legs, and even behind the silver dragon scales, a faint ancient halo rippled slightly together. The fluctuations were dizzying, and Kaelin's eyes became even deeper. I'm afraid, here is the answer. The elder Taishang was secretly surprised when he saw how ruthless this human woman was. The one-time female stream is so hidden, it should not be underestimated. At this moment, the contempt in the heart of the elder Taishang gradually subsided, but he was still thinking about how to bypass this guy and directly capture the light group. If these guys are allowed to step into the dragon tomb to destroy the Silver Dragon King's grand plan, the consequences will be enough to shatter his bones. Medusa, petrified ***** pupil. When the mind of the Supreme Elder was full of thoughts, the 10-colored snake spirit around Kaelin instantly penetrated into Kaelin's eyebrows, and a crisp humming sound sounded, and then a humorous death ray went straight from Kaelin's deep reflected in the eyes. Among the death rays, the whole body is witty, and there is not even any power attribute in it, just like a normal beam of light. However, wherever this death beam passed, the void suddenly disappeared, and whether it was the violently rolling gunpowder or the majestic power of reincarnation, it was easily destroyed. Crack! Such an unexpected attack was fleeting, so it landed directly on the left arm of the elder Taishang. In an instant, before the latter had any chance to react, the elder Taishang's arm petrified in an instant. The power of petrification was mysterious and unpredictable. If it was not stopped in time, it might endanger the latter's life. Bang bang bang! The elder of the dragon clan is not a generalist either. When the petrified land passed his arm, cold sweat broke out on his forehead, and he suddenly stretched out his palm and tapped on his shoulder a few times, and the power of petrification stopped spreading. However, at this time, he could clearly feel that his arm would not be used by him for a short time, and even without Kaelin's shot, it would be difficult for him to crack it in his entire life. This is the strength of the Medusa family. Even the woman in front of her who only controls the power of the 8 colors is by no means something she can easily deal with. Humph! After a while, the elder Taishang snorted coldly, his eyes were full of enthusiasm, his body suddenly moved, and he was fighting around Kaelin like a ghost. His fists, feet, elbows, etc. were all transformed into the latter's most powerful blades, all of which erupted violently. The energy fluctuations caused Kaelin to lose and retreat. Damn little girl, when this seat gets rid of that mouse, I will have enough time to clean up you. Bang! The voice of the Supreme Elder just fell, and his body suddenly disappeared out of thin air, but the attack of the Supreme Elder in front of Kaelin was still unabated. It seems that there are 2 identical Supreme Elders at this time. A high-level clone technique. I just don't know how long it will last. Facing such a cunning guy, Kaelin bit her lips and teeth, and the 8th color, which she had been unable to completely control in her body, gradually gained control under such a fierce confrontation. However, being so close to melee by the opponent, the Kaelin Divine Artifact and Pupil technique could not be used, so Xiao Yang could not be supported for a short time. In addition to several other people, Xiao Xian and Hell Demon Dragon are responsible for commanding the army to fight against the enemy. Xia Dragon King, Fire Dragon King and Yun join forces to fight against the 4 Dragon Kings, and the battle situation becomes anxious for a while, wanting to win. Obviously it will take a while. As for Xiao Yang, with everyone's cover, he reached the core of the Dragon Tomb in a blink of an eye. At the entrance of the Dragon Tomb, there is a grey copper door standing. Above the copper door, there is a terrifying aura that transcends all things, making Xiao Yang's body and blood slightly hot. The dragon blood of the Golden Dragon King also began to boil little by little at this time, flowing in Xiao Yang's blood. Boy, where are you running to? This is not a place you can step into. Just as Xiao Yang was thinking about how to open the bronze door of the Dragon Tomb, a voice like a lion's anger swept out from behind him. Such majestic power and rage, obviously. It indicates that the cover has failed. Has it been discovered? Looking at the copper door entrance of the Dragon Tomb, which was just a short distance away, before Xiao Yang could act, a huge silver door of light suddenly flashed out in front of him, blocking Xiao Yang's way. Is the latter means? For a time, Xiao Yang also gave up the idea of breaking through. Xiao Yang's body slowly stepped out of the ball of light, looking at the dying old man in front of him, the fighting intent that had been silent for a long time in his body tilted out like a dam bursting. Since we can't break out of the siege successfully, then, let's fight. The Golden Dragon King needs to be rescued, and the civil strife of the Dragon Clan must also be quelled. It's really a bunch of ants who don't know the sky and the earth. Watching Xiao Yang slowly walk out of the ball of light, the elder Taishang had a ruthless killing intent on his face, and there was a serious wave in his drooping eyes. How can such a young man be stronger than a strong man like him who has survived countless reincarnations? However, the latter's plan to unite with the two Dragon Kings to try to break into the Dragon Tomb was quite good. Although the plan was perfect, they were still too young in comparison. There seems to be some unknown secrets in the Dragon Tomb. You don't plan to say anything? Xiao Yang's eyes narrowed slightly, his eyes staring at the Dragon Tomb through the huge gate of light that blocked his progress, and he did not respond directly to this guy. However, the structure and interior of this Dragon Tomb are extremely mysterious. With the power of Xiao Yang's soul today, it is impossible to detect any mystery in it. It was easily swallowed up by an indescribable terrifying force. That terrifying power, to some extent, might even surpass the Golden Dragon King. I didn't want to kill, but unfortunately you know too much. You must die. While speaking, the palm of the elder Taishang was suddenly bathed in a dazzling yellow light, and there was a faint sound of dragon roar swept out. The yellow ray of light is like a substantial flame that fills the void around the main entrance of the Dragon Tomb. On the palm of his hand, there is a yellow dragon shadow roaring and ferocious. The faint dragon power contained in it is even the bloodline of the Golden Dragon King in Xiao Yang's body. Uncontrollable agitation, quite a feeling of being ready to come out. In this regard, Xiao Yang cast a distant glance at the two sides who were caught in the fierce battle in the distance, and his face gradually became dignified. He could clearly feel that the Dragon Clan martial arts and fighting skills practiced by this Supreme Elder were not as good as on the Dragon Divine Transformation, but it is definitely an extremely powerful existence. But the Dragon God Transformation is the top secret of the Dragon Clan. Unless it is in a critical situation, it cannot be used easily. After all, in terms of the pedantic behavior of the Dragon Clan, exposing the Dragon God Transformation will inevitably cause the Golden Dragon King a lot of trouble. I never kill nameless people. Your Excellency still sign up. At the moment when Elder Taishang's ruthless means were condensed, the majestic holy flames all over Xiao Yang's body began to surge, and he made a sound. Ignorance of human beings, the name of this Taishang is Long Feng, Dragon God Light Pillar, seal it for me. As soon as the voice fell, the Elder Taishang Long Feng waved his big hand, and the bright yellow halo tilted down from his palm like an overwhelming, countless yellow filaments fell, and then quickly condensed, and instantly turned into a silver-encapsulated body. The yellow dragon, the dragon's body is sinuous, and its momentum is amazing. As soon as it appeared, the void around Xiao Yang was completely imprisoned. A huge pressure that had never been seen before made Xiao Yang's bones humming. If Xiao Yang hadn't cultivated the dragon god and was tempered by the blood of the Golden Dragon King, I'm afraid it has long been crushed into powder. Looking at the living yellow dragon around him, Xiao Yang squinted his eyes slightly, and the holy flame in his body pushed out viciously along his arm. Boom. However, in the face of Xiao Yang's 9-color holy pattern power, Long Feng's face couldn't help but show contempt. Such power is derived from the power of the Silver Dragon King. With Xiao Yang's 8-fold reincarnation level peak strength, even if he has many holy flames, how can he deal with it? Boom. Terrible energy ripples spread from the body of the yellow giant dragon, and even a lot of power overflowed, swooping directly towards Long Feng's body. The power of the holy flame is enough to burn everything, but now the terrifying destructive power of the 9 holy patterns is acting on the yellow dragon and Long Feng, but only a silver bell-like sound erupted, causing the latter to step back. The whole figure has never had any embarrassment. The prestige of the holy flame, it's nothing more than that. Kid, die. In the face of Xiao Yang's fierce attack, Long Feng sneered, and then his body remained motionless, his palms folded together, and some complicated handprints changed in his hands. Following the latter's changes, the yellow dragon surrounding Xiao Yang also slowly erupted. A ferocious air emanated. At this moment, Xiao Yang's brows tightened even more. He doesn't have much experience in fighting with the real dragon powerhouse, not to mention that the latter is still the supreme elder of the dragon family. Most of the powerhouses of the Dragon Clan have a physique that is incomparable even today's Xiao Yang, and because of too little experience in fighting, Xiao Yang couldn't find an effective way to deal with it for a while. The power of the uncle's blood is becoming more and more agitated. I am afraid that something has happened in the Dragon Tomb. If it continues like this, it will change later. But there is no effective way to harm it. Xiao Yang's eyes narrowed slightly, looking at the silver dragon scales spread out from his legs on Long Feng's body. His doubts became stronger. However, in such a tense game, Xiao Yang did not find that an abnormal energy fluctuation slowly erupted on the piece of Tuorsha ancient emperor jade in his body. This thing was held by Xiao Yang, Zuna, Kailin, Jiu Yuan and Zhukuan when the 5 emperors broke the sky. When did this old guy's defense become so altered? The Fire Dragon King in the fierce battle in the distance fought with one blow, and hurriedly took the time to look at Xiao Yang's direction. Although this Supreme Elder Long Feng's strength is at the half-step 9 reincarnation rank, but among the several Supreme Elders, he is at the bottom of the ranking, and now the silver dragon scales on his body make them both feel uneasy. He, the disciple that Big Brother likes, isn't it likely to be a generalist? Girl Yoon, join forces to completely break through here. In an instant, the Dragon King Baxia also knew the seriousness of the matter. If it was delayed like this, it would be very unfavorable for them. If you want to escape from here, have you asked me to wait for the 4 of you? The 4 Dragon Kings also intercepted in front of the 3. Tai Chi Heavenly Emperor Sword. The core of the Flower God. Dark Altar. One after another, a huge movement resounding through the sky slowly swept out. Your strength is very strong, but unfortunately you can't break my defense. No matter how much holy flame you have, it's just a waste of time. But don't worry, Bentai Shang is reluctant to kill you. After I capture you, I will keep you in the dragon prison forever, waiting for my lord's punishment. Ha ha ha. In the next moment, the silver dragon scales around Long Feng's body glowed brightly, and even his legs had a faintly dazzling silver light, which, together with the condensation of the handprints, poured into the yellow dragon. At this moment, the body of this giant yellow dragon materialized, and a vicious aura erupted from the whole body, looking at Xiao Yang like a master. Since you're so confident, then I'll show it to you. Just as Long Feng's voice fell, Xiao Yang, who was surrounded by yellow giant dragons, suddenly raised his slender fingers, and a faint smile appeared on his face. At the moment when his smile appeared, there was a sense of awe in Long Feng's heart. As if there was something in the latter's body that could exert a powerful pressure on him, that kind of power could not be resisted. I'm not ashamed, but I won't give you this chance. Facing Xiao Yang's extremely arrogant tone, a playful smile flashed across the eyes of the Supreme Elder Long Feng. The reason why he is willing to be loyal to the Silver Dragon King is naturally that he has obtained enough huge benefits from the latter's hands. In front of that thing, the power of the Silver Dragon King is just a sweetness, and the real benefit lies in his own legs. The thing that gathered the legs and the breath of the Silver Dragon King combined attack, and with all his strength, even facing the real quasi-9th level reincarnation level powerhouse is enough to compete, and now such a cowardly Xiao Yang, take the what to crack it. Silver Dragon covers the sun. Although his heart is full of contempt, Long Feng is a cautious person, and naturally he will not take risks. With a slight force in his legs, his handprint changes rapidly, and the energy dragon that controls Xiao Yang roars out. The energy dragon swung away like a real sharp blade. Under the control of Long Feng, it shot out at Xiao Yang's vital point in a smooth manner. The dragon's breath, the dragon's flames, and the dragon's claws were constantly alternated, causing Xiao Yang to retreat one after another. What's more peculiar, Long Feng's legs have a faint crystalline silver color, and the inside of the entire right leg is as beautiful as a gorgeous crystal inlaid in it. Holy flame! 6 paths psychic. Suddenly, an unusually bright flame surged above Xiao Yang's figure. The majestic energy contained in the flame was divided into 6, and 6 hidden and powerful black shadows flickered around the energy dragon, making a cold smile hung on the corner of Xiao Yang's mouth. What kind of trick is this? Looking at Xiao Yang's bizarre tricks, Long Feng's eyes closed slightly, his handprints changed rapidly again, and the dim light flickering from his thick legs was about to escape like a swirl of a bow. The way of hell, the way of beasts, the power of the 6 ways, stop it for me. Xiao Yang's eyes have been watching the strange power of the latter's legs, and he can only act like this as a last resort. Humph, how can the power of the ants be compared with the powerhouses of the dragon race like me? With remorse, go to hell. Looking at Xiao Yang's unmoved figure, Long Feng raised his legs slightly, turned sideways. The surrounding space was completely rippling at this moment, and an extremely dangerous aura slowly permeated. In the originally noisy battlefield, it gradually became quiet, and one after another panicked eyes raised at the same time, looking at the entrance of the dragon tomb. Where is the place with the most dangerous fluctuations? What an annoying bunch of flies. At this moment, Yun Yun's originally indifferent eyes also contained a rare trace of anger. The powerful attacks of herself and the 2 Dragon Kings were completely resisted by the other 4 Dragon Kings one after another, and Xiao Yang's situation became more and more dangerous. Tear. Since the end of the Sea of Samsara, under the guidance of the Great Elder, Xiao Yang has not only won the mysterious fire attribute quasi-divine fighting skills, but even the origin skills of the 3rd Holy Flame, the 6th Path Psychic, and the hidden quasi-sacred skills. Divine Art, 6 Flames destroying the world, mastered together, the combat effectiveness can be said to have a qualitative leap. It should be almost there. In an instant, Xiao Yang twisted his body, his quiet eyes glanced at the world at will, and finally locked on Long Feng, who was stepping through the void and kicking at him. He let out a sigh of relief, and Xiao Yang's whole body was suddenly filled with extremely powerful fluctuations. The blue-colored dragon scales, and even a faint golden ripple was tilted down from his body. The ancient power of the dragon god transformation and the absolute coercion over the dragon race finally unfolded at this moment. Dragon god transformation? You are an outsider, and you have actually cultivated the supreme law of my dragon clan. It seems that you are certain to die today. Until this moment, the fear and anxiety in Long Feng's heart expanded rapidly, and the speed was even faster. In a blink of an eye, he broke through the entanglement of the 6 energy puppets and the energy dragon, and shot at Xiao Yang's vital point. Even if the latter cultivates with the dragon god transformation, he will definitely not be able to resist such a hard blow that combines the breath of the Silver Dragon King and the strength of his legs. The strong energy fluctuations turned into countless ferocious energy, which swept towards Xiao Yang's body without reservation. Even with the protection of the dragon scale, Xiao Yang's body was still flickering with trembling fluctuations. With the power of the dragon scale alone, it is impossible to defend against the devastating blow of Long Feng. At the same time, Xiao Yang's hands simultaneously gathered a very majestic energy. Above the left hand, a dazzling golden halo quickly flowed out from the limbs and bones in the body, and vaguely gathered into a claw shape. In the depths of the soul, there is a sense of adoration. On the other hand, 5 fingers stretched out, and a trace of obscure grey lightning arcs lingered on his fingertips like a grey liquid. The moment it surged, the world changed color. To Ben Taishang fell here. The arrow was on the string and had to be fired. Long Feng came to Xiao Yang in an instant, and his legs suddenly bent and kicked Xiao Yang hard. Dragon Claw. In the face of Long Feng's fierce attack, Xiao Yang waved his left hand first, and the dazzling golden dragon shadow entrenched on it, turning into a giant golden claws, directly resisting Long Feng's legs. The qi and blood in the body tumbled, and the golden dragon claws actually showed conspicuous cracks after the latter kicked it with all his strength, as if it would be completely shattered and opened at any time, causing the qi and blood in Xiao Yang's body to tumble, and a mouthful of scarlet blood flowed along. The corners of the mouth flowed out. Ha ha ha. What if you have the true inheritance of the Golden Dragon King and control many holy flames? In my eyes, it's like an ant. Boom. The battle situation was gradually completely controlled by Long Feng, and soon the corner of the latter's mouth flashed with a crazy smug color, and the dazzling light above the thick legs became more intense. It's not over yet. Wanji Thunder Finger. Listening to the other party's voice, Xiao Yang suddenly withdrew his left hand. Immediately, the silver lightning pointer pierced the void, like a lightning finger beam piercing the darkness, and collided with his attack again. Boom. The huge movement resounded throughout the world, causing the war between the two sides to come to a complete standstill. What is this sacred? The 4 dragon kings in the distance looked up at the battle circle outside the dragon tomb. At the same time the pupils jumped violently. This young human of unknown origin is actually on a par with Long Feng, the elder of the dragon clan? This is too appalling. This kid is really getting more and more perverted. Xiao Xian, who was commanding at the back of the team, also smiled with envy on his face, but there was a trace of worry in his heart. The fighting skills and even the combat experience controlled by the elders of the dragon clan are far from Xiao Yang's younger generation. Comparable, but even so, Xiao Xian has an inexplicable trust in Xiao Yang, as if nothing in this world can restrain him. It's just, what means does Xiao Yang have to defeat this supreme elder? Boom. The hot energy fluctuations caused the surrounding powerhouses to feel a cold feeling of numbness on their scalps, but their sights clearly found that there were still 2 figures in the center of the explosion, unmoved. It seems that no matter how majestic the destructive power erupts from the center of the explosion, it cannot shake the bodies of the 2. With the peak strength of the 8th level reincarnation, you can burst out such combat power. You are the first person under the 9th level among the powerhouses who have fought against Ben Taishang since ancient times. Your talent, strength, I am afraid that even if you look at the entire world, you should be among the best. However, let Ben Taishang tell you what is the gap between the peak of the 8th level reincarnation and the half-step 9th level. In the center of the explosion, thick black smoke billowed, and Long Feng's harsh, hideous voice burst out. The gap is like a gulf, insurmountable. His fierce attack did not cause any substantial damage to the latter. Xiao Yang, who was at the center of the explosion, also showed a wry smile. Immediately, the power in his body began to surge. The fierce attack just now can clearly defeat Long Feng completely, but why the Dragon Godclaw and the destruction finger of the Thunder Elemental Semidivine rank are like hitting an indestructible object, and they have not fully demonstrated their power. It went away, very strange. As Long Feng's voice fell, the latter's legs flashed with a dazzling brilliance, as if there were some ancient things, which were surging little by little. Wait, this volatility. Keel. Feeling the unusually dazzling light on Long Feng's legs, countless dragon powerhouses shrank their eyes tightly, and a deep fear appeared in their bloodlines and even in the depths of their souls. The dragon blood flowing in their bodies made them instantly distinguish the source of that power. The Keel, the supreme existence in the dragon family. Long Feng, why do you have a Keel with your mere half-step ninefold reincarnation strength? The Keel is among our dragon clan, and the reward can only be obtained after the strength reaches the quasi-9 reincarnation level. At this moment, the pupils of the Fire Dragon King, who was standing on the ground in the distance, condensed slightly, watching Long Feng's legs flickering with endless dim light. Among them, a section of yellow bare bones the size of a wrist was lying quietly in it, exuding a superiority. The terrible breath of all things. The yellow bare bones are exactly the same as the bones of their legs, and they fit perfectly, making the defense of the latter's legs extremely strong, and even looming, exuding a terrifying aura. Keel. Listening to the voice of the Fire Dragon King, Kaelin and Yunyun on the side couldn't help but look at each other. These two words are undoubtedly unfamiliar to them. Although I don't know what the so-called Keel is, but with the intelligence of the two women, it is natural to know. The reason why Long Feng can defend against Xiao Yang's many holy flames, and even the attacks of the semidivine rank fighting skills, I am afraid there is an inescapable relationship with this thing. Is this the reward from the Silver Dragon King to you? At this moment, Xiao Yang's face also showed a dignified expression, and he immediately spoke to Long Feng, who was arrogant in front of him. When looking at the yellow keel of the latter's legs, the blood of the Golden Dragon King in Xiao Yang's body became more and more violent, and there was a feeling of being ready to come out, as if he wanted to swallow the latter's keel. The power of the blood of the Golden Dragon King is probably far more powerful than this keel. It's just that Xiao Yang has not yet completely controlled the blood of the Golden Dragon King. If it is forcibly released, the power that destroys the sky and destroys the earth is enough to stir Xiao Yang's body. The world was turned upside down, and the consequences were unimaginable. It's really worth it. But the Silver Dragon King will be punished sooner or later. Looking at the yellow keel that fits perfectly in Long Feng's legs, the Dragon King Baxia's complexion is slightly solemn. There have long been rumors in the great world that the value of the keel is almost as precious as the holy flame, but unfortunately no one knows that for the dragon creatures, the value of the keel is even higher than everything. A keel can make its combat power rise countless times. In the First World War, the Golden Dragon King, the supreme powerhouse of the Dragon Clan, only had the strength of the peak of the 9 reincarnation rank, but with the strength of the Dragon Clan keel and the power of the Dragon God transformation, the fighting power that erupted was comparable to the demigod rank, which was enough to match the power of the Dragon Clan. The leader outside the territory is evenly matched. This is the terrible thing about the keel. Win the king and lose the bandit, why talk so much nonsense? This keel was transformed after the fall of Lord Tianyu Longzuan. Its defensive power and destructive power cannot be shaken by your power. Wait for the success of our lord, and everything will become a certainty. Long Feng said, his pupils were already full of indescribable madness. The legs flickered again, and a powerful dragon's might that shook the sky and earth broke out, causing the bodies of countless dragon powerhouses around to sink slightly. Under such coercion, only the 9 dragon kings were not threatened, and the fighting spirit in the bodies of the other powerhouses quickly faded, and even no sign of resistance was lifted. Tianyu Longzun is one of the strongest among our dragon clan. At the beginning of the First World War, his strength reached the quasi-9 reincarnation level, and after his fall, he was turned into a keel. I didn't expect it to be ruined by you. At this moment, there is a thick anger rising in the eyes of the Fire Dragon King, not jealous, but an endless anger. The value of the keel is too expensive, and for the dragon family, it is an extremely rare existence with one less and one less. Its birth is too harsh. Looking at the keel on Long Feng in front of him, the two dragon kings under Xia were also heartbroken. Two seniors, is there no other way? Looking at Long Feng, who looked like a world-destroying dragon, the latter's legs swelled a little bit, and the power of the keel flickered, full of destructive aura and power, and even Xiao Yang's breathing became dignified. The fatal blow under the blessing of the opponent's leg keel is definitely not something that his current physical body and dragon god can resist. But if you need to use the power of a demon or even the flame god cauldron to deal with a half-step 9 reincarnation rank, how will you deal with the Silver Dragon King after you step into the dragon tomb? But without breaking the dragon scales and keel defenses on the latter's body, it would not be able to really hurt him at all, and stepping into the dragon tomb would become an illusion. Maybe the power of holy flame gathered from all of you is enough to break through his defenses. After a moment of hesitation, the Fire Dragon King spoke. With his prudence, he won't give me the time to gather dozens of holy flames. Facing the Fire Dragon King's idea, Xiao Yang directly shook his head and denied it. Although Long Feng also has the pride of being the supreme elder of the dragon clan, but now the battle of the dragon tomb is imminent. Once the army is destroyed, the fate of them and others will be irreversible. Therefore, at such a moment of life and death, he will not take desperate risks. What he needs is foolproof. As long as he guards the entrance to the dragon tomb, the Silver Dragon King's plan will not be far from success. As Xiao Yang's voice fell, the eyes of the strong men under the leadership of the Dragon King and the others gradually filled with resentment and unwillingness. Could it be that Tsung Tian really wants to kill the Dragon Clan? This video will end here.